First Chronicles 15:25 to 16:7. David and leaders of Israel retrieve the covenant box from the house of Obed-Edom, where a celebration takes place. All the Israelites accompany the covenant box up to Jerusalem with shouts of joy and music. So King David, the leaders of Israel, and the military commanders went to the house of Obed-Edom to get the covenant box, and they had a great celebration. They sacrificed 7 bulls and seven sheep to make sure that God would help the Levites who were carrying the covenant box. David was wearing a robe made of finest linen, and so were the musicians, Chaniah, their leader, and the Levites who carried the box. David also wore a linen ephod. So all the Israelites accompanied the covenant box up to Jerusalem with shouts of joy, the sound of trumpet, horns, and cymbals, and the music of harps. As the box was being brought into the city, Michal, Saul's daughter, looked out of the window and saw King David dancing and leaping for joy, and she was disgusted with him. They took the covenant box to the tent which David had prepared for it and put it inside. Then they offered sacrifices and fellowship offerings to God. After David had and put it inside. Then they offered sacrifices and fellowship offerings to God. After David had finished offering the sacrifices, he blessed the people in the name of the Lord and distributed food to them all. He gave each man and woman in Israel a loaf of bread, a piece of roasted meat, and some raisins. David appointed some of the Levites to lead the worship of the Lord, the God of Israel, in front of the covenant box by singing and praising him. Asaph was appointed leader with Zechariah as his assistant, and some names were to play harps. Asaph was to sound the cymbals, and 2 priests, Benaniah and Jahaziel, were to blow the trumpets regularly in front of the covenant box. It was then that David first gave Asaph and the other Levites the responsibility for singing praises to the Lord. I think that the procession was full of joy. It was musical, like a lot of music, dancing, shouting of praise, and so it was a joyous celebration with food also. After he offered sacrifices and blessed the people, he gave them food, distributed bread, a piece of meat, and some raisin. So kind of like a communion. So we celebrate major holidays like Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, stuff like that, and we don't dance, but we do, like, there are communions that we just take a little bit of bread and juice, and those are symbolism of other má nói con không, bây giờ má đang đọc kinh thánh, con cần phải ngồi im để mà má đọc, má không có muốn bị distracted. Không, ăn cơm xong đã. Yeah, so we celebrate those, but we don't. There are events where they bring food, like potluck style, but I haven't been in any of those celebrations. No vest, không có đôi đồ. Yeah.